Introduction to Incoterms. Incoterms are a set of standardized international trade terms published by the International Chamber of Commerce (ICC) to clarify responsibilities regarding the delivery of goods. These terms cover the transportation of goods via various means like truck, rail, sea, or air, depending on the destination and agreement between the buyer and seller. History and versions. Incoterms were first published in 1936 by the ICC and have been updated every 10 years, with the latest version being Incoterms 2020, which came into effect on January 1, 2021. Purpose of Incoterms. Incoterms clarify responsibilities such as who handles transportation costs, risk, and insurance during different stages of the shipment process. They help avoid misunderstandings between sellers and buyers, especially in international trade. Explanation of specific Incoterms. XWX works. The seller's responsibility ends once the goods are made available at their premises. The buyer bears all costs and risks from that point, including transportation and customs clearance. FCA free carrier. The seller is responsible for delivering the goods to a specified location in the seller's country. The risk transfers to the buyer once the goods are handed over to the carrier. FAS free alongside ship. The seller delivers the goods alongside the ship at the port of shipment, at which point the risk passes to the buyer. FOB free on board. The seller is responsible for loading the goods onto the ship, and the risk passes to the buyer once the goods are on board. CFR cost and freight. The seller pays for the cost of transporting the goods to the destination port, but the risk transfers to the buyer once the goods are loaded onto the ship. CIF, cost, insurance, and freight. Similar to CFR, but the seller also pays for insurance. However, the risk still transfers to the buyer once the goods are on board the ship. CPT, carriage paid to. The seller pays for transportation to a destination, but the risk transfers to the buyer once the goods are handed over to the carrier in the seller's country. CP, carriage and insurance paid to, similar to CPT, but the seller also covers insurance. The risk transfers to the buyer once the goods are handed over to the carrier. DAP, delivered at place. The seller delivers the goods to a specified place in the buyer's country, with the buyer responsible for unloading. DPU, delivered at place unloaded. The seller is responsible for delivering and unloading the goods at the specified place. DDP, delivered duty paid. The seller is responsible for delivering the goods to the buyer's location, including paying for all duties and customs clearance. The buyer has no responsibility until the goods arrive. Importance of Incoterms. It is crucial to mention the applicable Incoterm in trade documents to clearly define the responsibilities of each party. This helps in determining who is liable for various costs and risks during the transportation of goods. Practical considerations. Businesses should carefully choose the Incoterm that best suits their needs, considering factors like who controls the logistics, who bears the risk, and how payment terms are structured.